Welcome back everyone to my Let's Play of the Final Fantasy Legend 2 for the Nintendo Game Boy. I'm just going to do this real quick battle here real quick. I'm just going to show off this exit spell. We used it a few times in the game to eliminate enemies, but the one reason why you may not want to use it is because if you use the exit spell and defeat all the enemies with the exit spell, you won't get any experience. So I'm just going to parry with everybody and just exit the enemies and paralyze them with Borgin so that they don't go and do anything to us. Speed up the battle a little bit. But yeah, if we defeat all these enemies here with the exit spell, at the end we're only going to get 0 experience. I wanted to show this off just because one of the lost magics you can get is Exit 2. And you've wondered, well, why would you want Exit 2 when it basically does the same thing as Exit 1? Because Exit 2 you can make it target a group of monsters, where Exit only targets one monster at a time. So that's why the only advantage that Exit 2 has over Exit 1. But the thing is, you really wouldn't really want the Exit 2 because you just deny yourself all that experience. So you make Exit 2 by combining an air and air. We're not going to do that. Actually, most of the magics are pretty useless. So we have Oath and Water. I mean, Water and Oath, you have to do it in a certain way. You get this cycle, which is basically just like heals all status immunities. So it's kind of pointless. 2 Oath Crystals gives you LifeA. That can target more than one character at a time, so it's like your life spell, but you can use it on multiple individuals at a time, so we can get a bunch of people on their feet all at once. Water and Water gives you LifeB, which is just like LifeA, but it gives you back 100% of your hit points when you use it. So we already did the Air and Air. Air plus Water gives you Flood, which is basically an ice magic. It hits every character, every enemy, but it's not much stronger than Ice 2. It's actually weaker than Ice 2. Ice 2 has a spell power of 64, Flood only has a spell power of 60. But Flood can hit all enemies, where Ice 2 only hits a potential group. So, for the most part, kind of pointless. It doesn't suffer like split damage when you, because it targets everybody. But overall, pretty weak spell, so that's why I didn't bother with it. Most of the Lost Magic is pretty terrible, so... next we have Air and Oath, and that gives you Wind. It's like a tornado. This is actually, I guess, a pretty decent spell. It hits everybody for 160, but at 160 spell power, it's slightly stronger than Virus, which only targets a single enemy or a group of enemies, but it's weaker than the White spell, and White is non-elemental. White has 170 spell powers, and it's non-elemental, so you never have to worry about, you know, having damage halved if enemies strong against Wind, so... Then we have Air and Fire. Gives you Fire X. That is better than Fire 2. It has a higher spell power and hits everybody. Fire 2 has a spell power of 82. This has a spell power of 100 and hits everybody. It doesn't split. So I guess it's kind of okay, but by the time you get to this point, you're not really going to run into a lot of enemies that are weak to fire. So yeah, by the time you get Shar on your the talent, to combine these things, most enemies ain't gonna be weak to fire, so kind of pointless to have. Fire and Oath makes a Shake spell, which is much stronger than Quake. Quake only has a spell power of 30. Shake has a spell power of 130. But once again, it's weaker than the White spell that you get. Targets all, and it's kind of, you know, like I said, pointless to have because pretty much anything that flies avoids the Shake spell. They're strong against the Shake spell. So Borgin has this spell, the fire and water, the Lit X spell. This is probably the best of the spells. Its spell power is 160 and hits everybody, so it's just slightly weaker than White, which has the spell power of 170. But like I said, White is non-elemental. This has things, so if a character is strong against lightning, this is going to do half damage to them. So not really all that great. Just go with the White. And then finally, the strongest spell in the game is mixing 2 fire crystals, and you get Flare, which it hits all enemies and has a spell power of 2,000, which is 20 more than the next most powerful spell, Nuke. So it's just basically a 20 points stronger spell power wise than Nuke, which has 180. So Flare might want to get that, but this time you have like the Mystic Swords, and if you have multiple characters, like I had balanced, I had Bubbles with Nuke and Bwizzy with White. There was no need to really pick up the 2 flares, so that's all the lost magics. Like I said, didn't really lose anything by not getting them. So now I'm going to switch off. I'm going to head back to fight Xagor, but I'll be fighting him with a party of all characters that are not transformed, so stay tuned for that. See you in a bit. Alright, here's we are for the second part of the bonus episode. As you can see, I have all my characters transformed back into their base classes. So Weggie and Gilda are humans, Bwizzy and Bubbles are the mutant class. I just got them all up to level 40, so they'd be the same level as Borgin, the 5th character, but I could have taken Xagor just basically at the same level as 35 that I was with the transformed party. So showing off all the gear that we got here, pretty much the same as the last time, only Bubbles now, like I said, will be able to wield the Mystic Sword. So those ribbons give us all the status immunities. Not that it matters against Xagor, because he doesn't use any status effects, but better, they give good magic resistance. So alright, let's talk with Soul again. And once again, he's just gonna hold Xagor's body, and we just have to hopefully defeat him before that Xagor erupts. But we know that's not gonna happen because if you've already seen the previous episode, you would know how this battle plays out. So the first part of this battle, we just have to take down Saul and just hit him with the Mystic Swords. Don't really worry about anything else. I have Borgin just casting a slight buff, Shell, to increase the defensive power of everybody. Not that's really going to do much because Xagor rarely uses like a physical type attack. So, but yeah, I just figured I'd just do it. Just better safe than sorry. And Borgin ain't really going to be able to contribute too much here during this initial part of the fight, since he doesn't have one of the Mystic Swords. Well, he could spam the White spell if he wanted to, but like I said, we'll just buff everybody up, and then Borgin can start joining in on the offense. Like I said, this is just a time thing. Just got to go through a certain amount of turns, and so we'll just do that right now, and then we'll get to see how these characters perform not transformed. So battle's pretty much going to play out the same way though, but our characters are going to be a little slower, so it's more likely that Xagor is going to act before most of them. Nobody in our party has the maxed out agility, like how Weggie did when he was the mouse robot. So, but otherwise, battle's pretty much the same thing. Be curing with Bwizzy and Borgin, cure B and cure A respectively. And there's Xagor. Finally woke up. So we might actually have maybe be a little bit more damage this time because now Bubbles is actually going to be a little bit more useful. Swinging the Mystic Sword, even though she's swinging the weakest Mystic Sword, still does more damage than what she was doing as a monster. So, because yeah, Xagor, his first move, that barrier, basically gives him like the strength against like all magics and all weaponry. It gives basically O damage and O all status. So. Xagor still hurts as bad with his magic, but as long as you're able to use the Cure A and Cure Bs, you should be able to keep up. As long, because Xagor, even transformed, pretty much two of Xagor's most powerful spells back to back would wipe your party out. So not much has really changed. And let's see, we're kind of fun. Yeah, his magic isn't organized all that well. The talent comes up. Talent seemed to come back pretty quick this time. But this fight, the the weird mouths on Xagor don't appear until really late. So, but yeah, pretty much the same strategy. Just attack with your Mystic Swords. Borgin heals or uses white when characters don't need any healing, or for single target healing, he can use his Cure 3. So, still same thing to watch out for. The other thing to watch out for is, of course, the Dark Force that he uses. They can pretty much still one-shot all our characters, but that was able to one-shot characters even in their transformed state. So, not much has really changed. So, it's just that really the transformations make the game easier throughout the regular game. At the end here, with the final bosses, not too much because you're always going to be relying mainly on the Mystic Swords to deal the most damage. So, just that all those nice stats and abilities and stuff that you get from transforming early on in the game helps you out, like in the beginning section of the game when it's like really tough. Actually, the toughest part of the game is, right at the beginning when you're so weak. Once you start getting the level 2 spells, you can start taking out groups of enemies with ease. That's when the game kind of gets really easy. And then once you start getting the Mystic Swords, you get the first Mystic Sword. And as you saw, once Weggie got that first Mystic Sword and didn't have to rely on his dash ability anymore, he was just cutting through enemies. And when his Mystic Sword wasn't cutting it anymore, no pun intended, that's when we started getting like those amazing magics. The White, the Nuke, the Fatal, got them in the underground Dwell village. So, yeah, the transformations carry you at the beginning, the Mystic Swords carry you at the midpoint, toward the finish line, the magic start carrying you, and then at the end, once again, you get back to the Mystic Swords. So. But that's pretty much it here. I guess I'll just give my thoughts on the game here. It's really different compared to, it's more in line with most Final Fantasies, as opposed to the Final Fantasy Legend 1 and 2. You can see where they pulled stuff out of it, like with the transformations, robots in this game functioning like humans in the first game, cyborgs in this game functioning like robots in the second game, beasts and monsters pretty much identical to the beast monsters in, or the monsters just in Final Fantasy Legend 1 and 2. But some of the changes that they did make in here is the whole leveling system. You actually gain experience points now. The weapons and stuff don't have durabilities. So I think it makes it a little bit of an easier game than the other two. Assuming you don't know how to break the other two games. I think a lot of the issues, the way that even with Final Fantasy 2, which the people who made Final Fantasy 2, which I've had a Let's Play on here on my channel, they did a lot with this series that became the Saga series. In those games, if you know how the system works and how the leveling works and what you should be leveling, you can break the games pretty easily. Like in the Saga games, pretty much agility rules. If you max out your agility, you can hit hard, you can go before the enemies. Agility just rules, you know, everything. So if you know how to build your characters like that, you know, you shouldn't have any problems, you know, with the enemies. Same Final Fantasy 2, you build your evasion up so you avoid attacks, and that just basically carries you through. So this game isn't as easy to break as Final Fantasy Legend 1 and 2, but it's more like newbie friendly. So this is a better game, I guess, to start off with. Because it's more like the classic, you gain experience by leveling up and stuff, so you don't have to be as complicated. The biggest complications come from, like I said, the transformations. So, although it's a good game. Like I said, I enjoyed playing it as a kid, and I hope that Weggie, Bwizzy, Bubbles, and Gilda's mother, they all enjoyed seeing their little mice and ratties save the day and be heroes. So, like I said, these Let's Plays, in addition to letting me play these old games again, lets me, you know, honor some pets who have passed on and are enjoying the afterlife of the Rainbow Bridge. So, I appreciate them for letting me share their story and make this new story up for them. So, thanks a lot. Take care. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough, and I'll see you for the next one coming up. Take care. Have a good day. Bye.